Hey you, welcome to the Bravo stream. I can't believe you got a stream named after you.
Yeah.
How did you pull that one?
Well, a lot of foresight and a lot of negotiation.
Oh, fair enough. Well, it's in the contract officially. We are on the Bravo stream, and of course we want to welcome you all along. Myself and Bravo will be taking you through the next game, and as you can see, it's going to be Sentinels versus NaVi. So once again, we are diving back into Pool D, the Pool of Death, as we've been calling it. These are our game types.
These are our game types here. The NaVi story continues. We'll see what they could do, and they have quite a task ahead of them. They had a great start to that first series, but ended up falling 3-1 in the end to that United series. Now they set their sights on their series with Sentinels. Not going to be an easy one. Of course, Sentinels, one of the favorites to win the World Championship, and that first game type in the series will be heading to Streets. And we know typically NaVi, as we said in the first series, NaVi's territory-based game type on Streets, they can look pretty strong.
Yeah, very strong indeed. And of course, these two teams did match up back in Orlando. Now, it was off of the main stream, and it was actually NaVi who took the first game of the series, and it was on Streets. So I think Sentinels are going to be more than aware of that. They're going to be extremely prepared for what NaVi are going to bring to the table here. But for NaVi, a lot on this series. Sentinels won their series against Ascend a little bit earlier on, 3-1. For NaVi, if they lose this series as well, that game against Ascend, the all-European matchup, becomes massive for them.
It becomes massive. It becomes everything. And so NaVi right now needs to realize what they have here in terms of an opportunity. We're right into the first game right away here. Once again, Sentinels versus NaVi, Pool D, as we said, the Pool of Death. And we're going right into this one. The question for Sentinels this weekend, Mark, is can the Kings reclaim their throne, right? They've been on top before. They've had dominant 4-0 Grand Finals wins. Can they do it when it matters most?
One tournament win this year for Sentinels, but apart from that, fourth places has kind of been the benchmark for them. So some questions to be asked and answered of Sentinels, of course, the two-time Halo World Champions here on our stage, and Snakebite is going to be on our screens for now. Snakebite had a very good series against the Sentinels. Watching a little bit on my phone a little bit earlier on as we were backstage, and he looked pretty strong, and he looked like he was ready for the task.
Absolutely. Now 2 dead here before the side. 3 dead there. Back on board with Jimbo. Frosty was your only player alive, and Frosty makes sure to make quick work in the back of Tram. A few points on the board here, though, for NaVi. 1 dead for each side. Like
I mentioned, this is a NaVi game type. This is one that they've already managed to win over Sentinels, and just little psychological things like that can certainly put you in the right headspace heading into a series against a team with such history and such dominance that Sentinels have had. But for NaVi, even though it's a good start, you can see 3 players have now fallen. It looks like that that Arcade Street Hill is in the hands of Sentinels for now. They'll be getting some time on the board.
And once again, might be a case of slow and steady wins the race, as 3 are dead here for NaVi, and NaVi crossed just to about 50% of that first hill. However, now with Stalker in hand, Royal 2 starting to command the ship from the backfield. All eyes on Driveway here. They will just about tie the score in just a moment.
I think if Sentinels wanted Royal 2 to be in any position with any weapon, it would probably be looking down the driveway with the Stalker rifle.
Right.
As you can see, anyone who's going to be moving up here is going to be walking into one of the greatest aims of all time. As you can see that the play call coming in from NaVi might be to try and spike them out of the hill. But we have pretty much a tie game now, 2-2, a split of deaths across the board on the map at the moment. But the Rockets is the focus. Frosty making a little play here on Pink Street to see if he can make a distraction for his team.
I like this play from Frosty, right? A little bit of risky there to go to Neons to clean up that kill, but in doing so, anchored just a bit to try to maybe get those rockets. It doesn't pay off in the end, so we'll see where these rockets go. This could break the setup.
Mighty's has the rockets, but Mighty's has fallen, so it looks like they might be on the floor, or maybe a NaVi member has managed to pick them up. But NaVi now punching through the defenses, but Royal 2 just shuts the gate at the right moment. Mighty's is last alive. He's trying to challenge Royal 2. He's got a little bit of a thrust to work with as well. Mighty's trying to survive, but there's Frosty with the help. Unfortunately for Mighty, he's kind of left on an island there, and Royal 2 and the rest of Sentinels lock down this street once more.
Yeah, Jimbo anchoring in the corner here for PD spawns. He's able to get Kimbo to spawn as well, but not sure if it's really going to make that much of a difference. Jimbo fights out of that, but just a few more ticks on this hill before it's a Sentinels point.
Last push coming in, but look at this break coming in now from NaVi. 2 players have fallen here for Sentinels, and even though Snakebite's in a good position to do some damage with that Stalker rifle, NaVi still in a position to maybe convert this first point again.
Ooh, not over just yet. Snaky's last player alive, though. With Snaky falling, this should now be a Sentinels point on this one. Royal 2's going to jump in. The time should tick down. This should be 1-0 Sentinels here.
Yeah, it looks like NaVi have given up on this. They're trying to force their way into Tram, and it will be Sentinels who strike first here, locking down that Arcade Street Hill. And now we move towards the Tram, and as we know, if you can get control of Tram early on, you can put that point on the board pretty comfortably.
Yeah, great start here from Lethal. He's 8-6 at this stage of the game. Also Royal 2, 7-4 right now. Snakebite, great support work, 7 assists to his name as well. All of that, of course, being a huge factor for that first Sentinels point on the board.
100%. They really are turning the kills into objective as we know that they can do so well. There's a Bulldog in the hands of Kimbo, and he manages to get one. Mighty's finds another, and somehow Mighty's not only comes up with two, but he keeps Kimbo on the map. So great little bit of teamwork coming in there from Kimbo and Mighty's, working in the baiting and switching mechanism and making sure not only to get the kills, but keep each other alive.
Jim gets the rockets as well. He stays alive. No, the nades come through in the L. Pretty wild nades coming in from A court. So that's going to mean Kimbo needs to be the rocket man. Tries to go full Elton John, connects with the first one, and will connect with the second as well. Nice job, Rocket Man.
Nice job, Rocket Man. Indeed. Frosty trying to make a play on the driveway now, but look at that score. Look at that timer. That is just going one way, and it is filling up with blue as NaVi now about 2/3 of the way to converting on this Tram Hill. Snaky, great shots onto Royal 2. Anytime you're winning a battle that kind of range against Royal 2, you've got something to be proud of.
Absolutely. Nice work there from Snaky. Not always the easiest battle to challenge from the hill into bottom middle. He does it well. Lethal going to go ahead, get a quick pizza jump here, grabs a slice, and gets into the back of Tram. Nice win as well in the 1v1. That was 3 dead for NaVi.
Jimbo first alive. It's currently sat at 9 and 10 as well, so he'll be the focus of the push. It looks like NaVi have managed to flood through already in towards Ivy, and Sentinels not been able to hold things down at the moment once again, but Lethal somehow fires through the ferns. Like your local gardener, just chopping down bushes, making sure that the leaves are taken care of and picking up a couple of kills as well.
Yeah, great handiwork there. Mighty's in the end gets that little bank nade off of top Tram to send him flying. 2 dead still, so Royal 2 is just going to try to get a little bit of help here. Ooh, and picks up an extra kill as well by spiking out the back of Commando. And now he will anchor. And now they got a lot of work to do on this back Tram hill.
They certainly do. Royal 2 and Snakebite left on their own once more. Mighty's is going to be pushing up and trying to do some damage. He's got a drop wall to work with as well, and Jimbo once again is there to give the assistance. NaVi fighting back into this one, and again, not only controlling the map, not only controlling the kills, but inside of the point, and now they're just a few moments away from converting this one.
Yeah, it's a nice push from Lethal, but it's not going to be enough here. 2 dead. Let's see what Snaky does. Needs to stay alive on Commando. He is able to do it, and like you said, only a few ticks away. He might even try to just fly into this. He's going to wait it. He's going to bait it. Let's see what he does here against Lethal. It's nice damage, but needs to wait for help here.
Needs to wait for help. Royal 2 and Snakebite pick up a couple of kills elsewhere, so Snaky decides to play his life. Snakebite will also get the rockets, but that will be 4 dead here for NaVi, and I just wonder if NaVi were thinking, maybe we leave this a few seconds to get that final few moments. Maybe we try and fight for control of that statue, but if I'm NaVi in this position against one of the best teams of all time, get the damn point.
I'm almost wondering if Snaky, in hindsight, of course, it's easy for us to say in the casting booth, you almost wonder if Snaky should have flown in for the 1v1 at sea, because look how much time they need, right? He could get the 1v1 win and get the tick, actually.
I mean, look at it now. Look at how different the game is looking, right? Kimbo moves in to take down Lethal, and finally that should be NaVi in a position now to get that second point of the game on their side. It's tied up at 1-1, but how is that fight going down at the moment around the PD and statue? That's the next thing we have to turn our attention to.
1:39 left on the clock, not a lot to play with, and we see more and more as the meta goes on. Sometimes with top teams, we see a shorter game time, right? We don't even get to bottom middle here. It's very likely this could actually end here at the Statue Hill.
Yeah, not a lot of time left at all, and we are seeing these hills take a little bit longer. Teams trying to maybe mix up the strategy and not let it go to that bottom middle hill and try and win it with time to spare, where there's no real opportunity for teams to get back into things. But it is Sentinels who are set up at the moment around that Statue Hill. They only have a little slither of time inside of it, but a slither of time could be enough, as you see Royal 2 with the Bulldog. Can't deal with Snaky, but Lethal is there to help.
Royal 2 leading the game in a big way right here. 3 dead for them. He's 16 and 11 with 12 assists, though, leading in several of those categories, and looking very good doing it, though. Now just about 75 seconds left on the clock here, and tied up on this third hill.
Lethal just deciding to play his life long enough for every single member of Sentinels to be back in the game, back present on the map before they try and formulate this push. Great little bit of veteran play coming in from Lethal in that position. Now the push comes in, and what a push it is. 4 dead for NaVi, and only Snakebite has to look at the respawn screen.
NaVi with enough time on the board here, right? They're just about 35% or so. They can time their push here. There's 65 seconds, as we said, left on the clock. They need to realize that they're 1-1 with Sentinels, right? One of the best teams in the world. They need to make sure they're, oh boy, it's not going to make it easy when Lethal's hitting you with the perfect shots on the driveway, but they need to make sure they clutch up here. A nice double as well. It's a good trade for Lethal. That will be 4 dead for NaVi. This point is looking pretty Sentinels-y.
It is. I'm not sure that's an objective.
So it's a word?
Or an adjective. We belong here.
This is good. we like the Bravo stream because we can say things we can't always say on the Alpha stream. We're told that the lawyers watch.
Yeah, they watch A.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We can get away with different things.
So we've been told anyway, but that's exactly what I'd say if I was a lawyer. But that's going to be the second point on the board here for Sentinels. They go into a lead. Still time here, though, for NaVi. But as we know, Andy, it's so easy to transition from that statue hill towards the Pink Street Hill. So we're going to have to see if NaVi are able to break through at the moment. But you can see with the way that Frosty's playing, man. He's just chasing down one-shots at the moment. Kimbo was alive. Kimbo doing a really good job, actually, to milk his life here, but it's not going to last for too long as Frosty will take him down.
Interestingly there, they let the cafe spawns come in. They don't really worry about it. They just clear out the whole map, and it works out for them. They eventually kill the last two. They're going to try to force tram spawns here after they clear out back A, if they can clear out Jimbo at back A. That's a big kill. Still 2 dead, and they should be comfortable here. Royal 2 still on the hill.
Frosty with Stalker and Drop Shield as well, so even if Snaky gets this kill, Frosty should be in a position to do damage and stay alive off the back of it. There's one, and oh my, Frosty! Here comes the triple! That's 3 in a row for Bradley Bergstrom. He's back, everyone.
Making it look too easy. They are running this map. It doesn't matter where they're anchoring from. They're letting the time go. 20 seconds left. They're actually just baiting this out. NaVi thought they might be able to get away with pushing A court, getting control of A first. They get punished because Sentinels had predicted that play perfectly.
10 seconds left on the clock here. Lead and map control for Sentinels. NaVi making a desperate effort, though. You can see Snakeboy's going to have some work to do here. Oh, my goodness me. Work completed. A+, Snakebite.
Job well done. Snaky last player alive here. Frosty's got a rocket for him. Sends it, connects it. That will be the game. Takes himself out with a rocket as well. 2-1 is your final score in that game number 1. That will bring Sentinels to a 1-0 lead over NaVi. But I got to say, once again, strong performance from NaVi on a territory-based game type on the streets. I think they look good, but I think Sentinels had their number most of the game. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think it's just that first hill. You know how it can go sometimes. You get a few spawns that don't go your way. If you're fighting your way from tram, it's very difficult to break in. Yeah. So you have to obviously use that driveway. You're kind of fighting against elevation almost immediately. So NaVi did a good job at the start, but Sentinels, as soon as they got control of that statue hill, it just looked like game over. They were controlling the map so well.
They were, and I think even when there's only a player alive, like Royal 2 being the last player alive with the stalker rifle, it almost doesn't matter. He's turning double kills.
Still a problem.
It's still a huge problem. There might as well be 3 players alive when you have Royal 2 with the stalker rifle. Also, we saw great stalker play from Lethal as well. Great turning 2 kills in situations that he maybe would have been much more difficult to do so. So across the board, Sentinels looks very good. Even though it's 2-1 on the board, I think they're going to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a win, right? And they didn't win that game type back in Orlando, so it's certainly looking like an improved performance, so to speak, from Sentinels. And now we move on to Slayer Recharge. Now, NaVi, a very good showing on Ball a little bit earlier against E United on Recharge, but Sentinels, I feel like Slayer on Recharge. Recharge historically not been a great map for them, but I feel like Slayer, without that objective to worry about, it really is where they can kind of do what they do best. Give the power weapons to the likes of Frosty, Royal 2, let them pick away at the NaVi players, and once they get that damage, you know that the flood is going to be coming in.
Absolutely. It's also, look back at Orlando, Sentinels was 2-0 in Slayer Recharge as well at that event, so their Slayer record on that map specifically looking very good. I believe they were 7-3 overall in Slayer, so Recharge constituting quite a bit of those wins.
Yeah, and I mean, I spoke to Snakebite before the tournament kicked off, and I asked straight up, so how's the Recharge? Because it's almost like it's like an awkward situation, awkward subject to talk about. And he was like, we've improved. We've been working on some things. We know it's a weaker game type for us, and we've been trying to put those things right. So we'll have to see if that is the case now as we head into game number 2.
Let's also not forget NaVi looking good on Recharge earlier today, right? Yes. They had that nice 2-0 win on Oddball against E United. Not something easy to do to kick off the tournament. Let's see what they have in store here. Game number 2, it's Sentinels with a 1-0 lead.
Also interested to see if we see Kimbo with that shock rifle in his hands, because boy, was Robbie hitting some good shots earlier, but the same could be said about Royal 2. If he can get hold of that weapon, you know he's not going to be missing too many headshots, but a fast, frantic pace at the start of this one, Andy. It's started for 4-4.
Yeah, good flood there coming in from the pipes from the side of NaVi. It's countered back, answered back immediately. Lethal with great shots into elevator as well. You can't move at all with great damage coming in. They're just going to pin them back here at elevator.
Somehow, NaVi surviving. All 3 players are pretty much down to no shields. Jimbo and Lethal will trade out kills respectively for their teams to leave us at 5-5. Here's Royal 2, and there's Snakebite.
Wow, I mean, great help coming in there from the side of Sentinels. 2 fall, though. Now let's see what Snakebite can do with the shock. No, he's taken down as well. 3 dead. 8-6 here. 9-6 now in favor of NaVi, and they're going to continue rolling on Recharge.
9-6, as you say, a 3-kill difference, and 3 of those kills went to the hands of the man we're watching on our screen right now. Your reward, not only +3 on the statistics, but also a shock rifle. Frosty trying to put him under pressure, but Jimbo doing a good job just to hold his own here. Force Sentinels to have to use the utility to try and flush him out. Frosty's managed to sneak through though. Mighty's gets one,
man.
And there comes Frosty. He's going to hunt down that shock rifle himself.
I was going to wonder, are they going to rotate the shock? It felt like an opportunity, maybe. Nice teamwork again from Sentinels, too, Dead. It felt like an opportunity maybe to rotate that shock. It felt like he had the time to go across a catwalk and get all the way into control, because you can see that's still where his teammates are. Instead, he tries to win those battles, and guess what? If you sit in elevator too long, Sentinels is going to rip you apart. They're going to fly through pipes, they're going to get into Whirlpool very fast, and that's exactly what they did. And just like that, for that reason, it's a one-kill game.
Jimbo started this game off extremely well, though, and here comes Mighty as he's going to pick up 2 himself. He's like, eyes on that camo, unfortunately, hasn't got hands on it, and that's going to allow Lethal now to move in for Sentinels and pick that up himself. However, Jimbo gets that kill, so you wonder, has the camo been dealt with? Has the camo been taken care of? But Kimbo certainly has.
My God, Frosty playing with such pace right now. You saw how he got the kill in Whirlpool when he needed to, flying up into control as well. Still a one-kill game here. It looks like, based on the movement, camo likely burned bottom middle.
1 kill advantage here for NaVi. Mighty's gets away with that shock rifle. Now I'm interested to see how the game pace changes. I know that NaVi have been talking about when they get that weapon in their hands, just slowing down a little bit, allowing a pick to come in. But the difficulty is, if Snaky gets taken down, Sentinels recognize that numbers advantage and they will be flying at you.
Royal 2, very nice repulsor there. Still has 1 extra as well, but Jimbo makes sure to take advantage of that angle for just a second. 1 kill game now in favor of no! Oh my goodness, Mighty's. Nice job there with her 1 last repulsor. Hits the shock rifle as well. That will put NaVi into the lead by 2.
Mighty is pretty disgusting with this weapon as well. And here comes the push now from NaVi as well. Look at the score. It's a 4 kill difference between the 2 teams. It will probably become 5 as well. Stays at 4 as the trade comes in. Almost manages to take the headshot onto Frosty as well. Royal 2 going to be challenging. Royal 2 will finally end that little spree. But again, life here from NaVi showing the individual skill that they hold.
Certainly, Mighty's 8-6 in the game right now. Jimbo 8-5, but Mighty, as you heard him in the interviews earlier, right? Family has flown across the world to see him here at the World Championships, trying to put on the best show he can for them.
Frosty will be taken down. Jimbo, by the way, currently sat at 9-5. He has been in a great position to clean up a lot of damage that's been done by his teammates so far, and once again the reward is a shock rifle. Snaky picks up another. Royal 2 will get the trade with a death nade, but it's only a couple of kills again between the 2 teams. Camo again, the next focus though for both teams. Jimbo trying to rotate to get in a position, but it looks like Sentinels have picked up the kills they required in order to maybe have their eyes on it first.
Ooh, it's a good push here from Snakebite. Wow, great little joust 1v1 in the end. NaVi will win that. Jimbo gets the helps that he needs, and that kill will be picked up 29-25 in favor of NaVi.
Having the shock rifle with the lead is a very different situation to not having it and trying to chase though, because you know if you're trying to push the pace, the 1 shot can completely change things here. Kimbo, you can see he's playing around the double stacks at the moment. He's going to get pushed as well, and I got to say, I want to see Jimbo maybe take a little bit of a different angle here. He's not in a great position to make the most of what he's got in the arsenal with that shock rifle in his hands.
Also, they're going to get pinched here. Look at Lethal. Look at this. Frosty's now flying in as well, and because of all that, great control here, great presence on the map, 29-30. Only a 1 kill lead for NaVi now.
Kimbo flies in, he'll get 1, so will Mighty's with the trade. 2 for 2 on the map. Snaky should finish off this kill onto Royal 2, but the trade comes in immediately. A 1 kill game between the 2 teams once more, but Sentinels have started to close that gap a little bit now.
They certainly have, and they tie the game 33-33. Kimbo will be the 1 player down, so they might try to take advantage of that as well. And it's been a lot of glass gold pipes control over the past few minutes for the side of Sentinels.
It certainly has, and here comes Sentinels now, a 2 kill lead for them, as they finally, once the 30 kill mark hits, start to find their rhythm and find their form. Jimbo, he should be eliminated as well, manages to survive, but look at the death screens for NaVi. They are starting to light up in a way that you don't want to see. Pings flying in the kill feed, but Kimbo slows it down, gets the pick onto Royal 2, but there's Frosty again in that kill feed. It's now a 4 kill difference between the 2 teams.
And look at the great damage and movement here from Lethal as well, just continuing to stay alive when he needs to. Almost gets the stick, but that will give them a 4 kill lead.
Frosty now with the shock rifle. First time we've really seen Sentinels being able to get this into their hands. NaVi pressured them well to make sure it wasn't as effective as it usually is in the hands of the likes of Frosty and Royal 2. We'll have to see if this is the opportunity maybe for Sentinels to start to extend the lead, or if it's going to give NaVi the chance to push now.
Look at Lethal also getting right into the elevator right away, just making sure he's giving the padding to Frosty. So underrated, underappreciated the way he's able to move there, and Frosty gets away with the camo and the shock. 43-36, this does not look good for NaVi.
Yeah, this is just late game Sentinels. This is what they do. It's great to stay in the game, but against Sentinels, you always feel like staying in the game is not good enough. Once you hit that 40 kill mark, you have to have a lead. Otherwise, Sentinels are just so good at closing things out. At the moment, Frosty just playing spectator, just watching players fry in front of him. He finally gets the finish onto Jimbo with shock and camo in their hands. They're inching closer and closer to that 50 kill mark now.
Went for it. You can't blame him there. Up by this kind of margin, 47-38. He's got to go for that, jumping out, trying to hit that shot. But in the end, looks like Kimbo pre-firing on gold will take him down. Only 3 more kills for Sentinels to go to close out game number 2.
Snakebite and Royal 2, the long-time duo, going to find 3 members of NaVi. However, Snakebite is going to...
remote detonate.
I don't know what he's going to do, to be honest. He just made something explode somewhere inside of the tower, and that is going to be the game closed out here. Sentinels up 2-0 over NaVi. Close until it wasn't in the end game.
That's right. You have to think in the mid game there, Sentinels may be feeling it in their Sentinels there for just a moment.
Just a moment.
Things were getting a little close for them, but in the end, they come back, they bring the game back, they tied at 33. It's really good map presence, really good control throughout the rest of their game to close it out. Once again, pretty convincingly, and as you could tell, very little emotion on their side of the stage, right? They're not popping off, no big fist bumps. They're kind of just going through the motions here. Like we said, this is a World Championship caliber team. They're all business, and they know what they need to do here this weekend.
100%, and I think the one thing to look at with Sentinels in this group of death that we've been talking about so far today is if they come out of that in first place, if they manage to not only maybe win this series, of course we haven't seen the end of this series, but if they do manage to close things out here against NaVi and win against E United, they are going to be so hot going into that championship bracket. So it's a great opportunity for a team who maybe been a little bit up and down from what we're used to seeing from them to really attack that championship bracket. As now we head into game number 3, it's going to be Oddball Lifer.
I don't have the score in front of me exactly how that transpired, but let's not forget.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're a jerk. Score is 2-0 in favor of Sentinels. Mid-game, though, in that Slayer, keep in mind, we were tied at 33. So it's wild that that game ends 50-38. That's an unbelievable finish from Sentinels. But not just that. Let's not forget, NaVi was up by about 6 at that mid-game as well. So that was essentially something along the lines of a 25-10 or 25-12 swing to close out that game. NaVi needs to make sure they focus up here, do whatever they can here on Oddball on live fire.
Yeah, I mean, extremely close. And, you know, I spoke to a couple of European teams actually before this tournament, and the difference, it seems, a lot of the time is very close up until those final moments, the final 10-15%. We were talking about it on the desk a little bit earlier, or during our cast on the main stage, and you were talking about how the difference is made between the best in the world and the rest of the world, so to speak, when it comes to that last 10-15% of a game. That's where games are won and lost.
That's
and
it.
Like you say, if you look at that game from kind of 35 kill mark, tied up exactly between the two teams, nothing to separate them, but all of a sudden one team gets affected by the adrenaline, the idea of beating Sentinels, and one team has just been here so many times that they're just so used to closing them out that nothing really changes, and they have that kind of killer instinct in those final moments.
They really do. I mean, even though everything we saw at Lethal's POV at the end there was just absolutely perfect. Also, just the way you see Lethal flying into top elevator while Frosty has Whirlpool and batteries to be able to provide that padding. And once again, that's something that's not shown on the stats, but it feels like you said, they build the muscle memory to know exactly what to do in those situations, and they execute so flawlessly. They look so good in the end of the game. As we set our sights to Oddball live fire, it doesn't look good for NaVi. Here's why. NaVi, of course, losing every single Oddball match in Orlando, and in Orlando you have Sentinels 3-0 in Oddball, right? So this one's pretty clear cut. Unless NaVi can dig something deep here, I think it's going to be a quick 3-0 as long as, if NaVi can dig deep, they might find something, but it should be a Sentinels 3-0.
Yeah, if you're looking at the form book, you're looking at how these teams have played previously, you're probably going to say this should be a 3-0. But again, Oddball earlier against E United was the game type that NaVi managed to take away.
And in a convincing fashion.
Yeah, and again, it was one that they worked a lot on, NaVi, in the build-up to this event, because it was their weakest game type, and they have made some significant improvements. Is it going to be enough to beat Sentinels? We'll have to find out. With the way the Sentinels are playing at the moment, it doesn't look like much would be good enough to slow them down with the way that they have attacked this series. But you know, you look at that series layout, and even though we're kind of talking through this as if we're expecting Sentinels to close this series out 3-0, it's been pretty close, 2-1, game number 1, and as you say, up until that sort of 35-40 kill mark, extremely close. So. You know, even though Sentinels are closing these games out, you can see that it's not
NaVi's
a huge discrepancy.
NaVi is certainly here for a reason. I think one interesting thing to note while we wait for this game 3 to load as well is just how much these two teams have scrimmed. You could say that Sentinels is a bit of a big brother to NaVi, right? And with NaVi actually kind of coming to Snakebite and saying, what are the things we can work on? You've watched more NaVi gameplay than maybe even they have, so I think you know it well.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they actually asked Aquarius CTF was something they were really struggling with, and they were speaking to Snakebite about some ways they can improve, and Snakebite said, you know, he didn't want to give too much away because he still
we might play you at the World Championships.
There's a World Championship coming up, but you know, he was kind enough to give them a little bit of a pointer. We all know what Peach is like, right? He's one of the nicest guys in the world. He's never going to turn someone down for advice.
Like, I can give you a few tips.
Yeah. Probably gave them bad advice. You know, Peach is one of those people I think secretly.
He
pretends to be nice.
He is a tactical mastermind at the same time.
I'm on to you, Peach.
One of the nicest guys we know, yet a tactical mastermind. It's a deadly combo.
It certainly is.
True.
I mean, it's going to be interesting though for NaVi as well, because I think they still have to come out of this series with something confidence-wise, because we mentioned, you know, the Ascend series, which is going to be coming up, is vital for them now, because that is looking, if they don't win this series, like that will be potentially a decider. Obviously, we've got to see Ascend versus E United. That could have a say on how things are going to go, but that could be the decider if they are eliminated from the tournament today or if they make it to Saturday.
Absolutely, and I think, like you said, even if Ascend is watching this, they're thinking NaVi's games have been close with these top teams. They know that they are certainly a force to be reckoned with. As you say, NaVi needs to keep their head held high. They need to bring everything they can into this game number 3, see if they can stay alive in this series.
100%. It could come down to map count. Who knows? So one map here could be massive for NaVi in the total outcome of how their tournament life continues or maybe does end today. But for now, it looks like a pretty good start from them. They managed to get 3 dead. Snakebite's been located as well. They have that oddball already back to tower, and now they can fight for that overshield as well. Great start here from NaVi.
Great start. Snakebite's alive, though. He's like back tower, and I think they need to remember, actually, might have actually gone down to back green. Still alive here, so good points on the board, though. They're able to get those first 12, and NaVi showing signs of life here. They're certainly not out yet.
Well, Frosty's got a sniper rifle. Royal 2 is going to be dancing around the television, as it looked like it might have been a burn or maybe not a burn on that overshield. It might be down still on the overshield block, but for now, Royal 2 is just trying to stay alive and just try and get into a position to help out some teammates. You see NaVi unfortunately find themselves 2 dead, as Frosty will come away with that oddball now. So a good start here for NaVi, but Sentinels picking up the kills, managing to get power weapon control. This is looking like they'll be able to tie this one up pretty comfortably.
And you have to wonder, oh boy, the Snakebite there also with that overshield in the end. That's no bird. Snakebite's actually going to have sniper, overshield, heat wave, top tower control. Too many things to list here. And he's now going to start commanding from the top of the tower, as they will also take command of the scoreboard. They're up 23-12.
Yeah, Snakebite looking good here. He's got everything he could possibly want to play with, but he's got to put it to use. Here comes Jimbo, and I'll tell you what, he's got to put it to use. No, he didn't. Oh my God, I kind of did, I guess, but not what you want really from that situation from Snakebite. Surprising, to say the least.
A little bit of wacky, a little bit of a blank-ish melee thing. I don't know. Definitely some melee weirdness that happened there that led to that overshield being stripped as fast as it was, but got to still give credit to NaVi. You got to get there to do the job. They push on the tower, and they neutralize that. That will keep the game now within 5 points.
Yeah, pretty scrappy at the moment, as you can see. Mighty's has the ball in his hand. The overshield now the point of focus for both teams. It looks like Lethal's going to move in on the damage that's been done by his team behind him. Mighty's goes down as well. 3 down here for NaVi. Ball in the hands of Sentinels, and you would imagine with the deaths that just happened in front of us, that should be the overshield going to them as well.
It certainly should. Lethal's just going to hold here and cuts. Great position, going to allow him to rotate out into dummies or go low if he needs to. That's going to allow him to pivot on strategy if they need to. Will still be 2 dead for NaVi. Kimbo, though, able to pick up 1 kill in the back of the base. That's going to pave the way for them to push across the map.
Yeah, at the moment, you're just looking across the NaVi stats. You can see Mighty's currently sat at 0-3. You've got only 1 kill here for Snakey as well. So Mighty's not quite having the start he would have wanted. And there is that overshield being put to use a little bit more successfully this time by Snakebite. A strong lead here, almost doubling the score for Sentinels. It's 55 points and rising to 23.
Lethal, like we said, still in control of that objective, able to rotate it all the way from B, and he stays alive as well. And will continue putting points on the board. What was just a 5-point game is now a 40-plus point difference here as they will cross that threshold. You got to wonder, if Kimbo didn't have 8 kills right now, what would this scoreline look like? Kimbo putting the team on his back and trying to keep them in this, but this round may be over quick.
Yeah, Sentinels really looking like the dominant force you would expect at this point in round number 1. It's just around 15 points to close out round number 1 and put themselves 1 round. I said round a lot of times there, from closing out this game and the series. But for now, a little bit of pressure finally coming in from NaVi. Sentinels find themselves 2 dead, and it looks like the ball reset has already been picked up by NaVi. So they're looking to move this one maybe towards green, but Snakebite staying alive for 2-3 seconds too long and comes out with probably 2 more kills than he should have.
Absolutely, that's what Snakebite does best. He does that from the back of B. Such a tough angle, picks up another one as well with help from Lethal as they continue pushing, and Lethal is just going to continue scrapping up time with the ball. It's already 80-27.
Heat wave and sniper rifle here for Sentinels as well. So NaVi have got an uphill battle to try and get back into this round. The overshield might be the only thing they can use to try and do that, but they might not even have the time to fight for it, because They're being picked off one by one at the moment. However, Kimbo once again trying to put up a little bit of a stand here, but the overshield is picked up by Snakebite. That's 3 in a row now for Sen.
What a run here from Snakebite. Take a look how he does a double tap. Oh my god, picks up this back whack as well. He gets a double tap of the heat wave on the key door, backs down to pillar door, doesn't try to fight that. A lot of players would be greedy. They try to fight that battle. Instead, he lives to fight another day, gets the overshield off the back of it, running a clinic there, and they're still up 88-29.
Royal 2, nice little pre-nade to take down Snaky, and NaVi starting to look a little bit ragged here. You can see not a lot of coordination, not having the kills necessary to really try and move that odd ball away, and need to find something to get them going here, because at the moment, Sentinels are just starting to take over.
Did he get that stick?
Oh, of course he did. It's Frosty!
God. Of course he got that stick.
No one else gets that. It's Frosty, man. Of course he got the stick.
Royal 2 take down Snaky earlier. That's going to be the round there. It will go in favor of Sentinels. And once again, it's a comfortable win and great late game composure. And they're locked in, ready to go into what could be the last round of the series. Yeah, no time to reflect. Let's get back into it. Let's close things out now. And as we zoom into the point of view of Frosty, great work by production, by the way. That looked awesome. He's going to go straight for that sniper rifle, and he's going to go straight for some headshots. My goodness! What year is it? He does it again, flies into the sniper, doesn't care, hits the no-scope. That's the confidence that this man brings. I feel like I'm in a time machine. He does it again, just flies in, grabs the sniper rifle at a world championship.
I mean, that's the Frosty we want to see, right? Making those kind of plays, making those kind of decisions. He is confident, he is ruthless, and he is hitting pretty much everything at the moment. Royal 2 is going to be a man on your screen right now with that sniper rifle in his hands, and Kimbo's going to have an overshield to play with. So maybe NaVi have got a little bit of something to get themselves back into this game and start to compete with the Slays.
Yeah, I think Kimbo had an overshield. Let's see what they're thinking. Oh my, come on.
Christ, man. Come on, give him a break.
Almost picks up the second one as well. Frosty's still alive with the pillars. Finally gets taken down. Ooh, triple opportunity for Kimbo. Does great damage though. Let's see what Mighties can do off the back of that. Looks like not really in a position to push on tower. Instead, they're going to rotate ball back to Rat Tunnel.
Smart play from Mighties as well. Even though players went down, he knows where the spawns are coming in. Lethal survives extremely well there as well, knowing and getting the information of where the spawns are coming in. But NaVi moved that ball to back green. So a little bit of a kind of temporary setup here for NaVi, and a lead off the back of it too. Something good to speak about, because the last round there wasn't too much.
There isn't too much, and once again, the stats are really interesting here. Kimbo is 16-9. It's a fantastic performance to say the very least from him. The rest of the team left wanting in the stats category, and they're going to need to step it up big time here and finish out this round strong if they want to stay alive in the series.
Yeah, all Sentinels have to do here is just not get complacent, right? Make sure they're doing exactly what they were doing, making sure they're being efficient, because one thing, when you do get into a round of oddball where you're starting to pick up slay after slay, overshield after overshield, you can get a little bit sloppy from time to time. So I'm sure that Snakebite and Frosty will not allow that to happen. The comms will still be fired up here for the Sentinels guys, and at the moment you can see attention once again towards that overshield. Royal 2 looking at it with an oddball in his hands. That usually means things are going pretty well.
Look at the discipline here from Royal 2. Oh my god, this is incredible. And he's actually going to be the one to get the overshield. The fantastic job from our observers in the back there. Royal 2 sits back tower, could have gotten all that ball time if he wanted. Instead, he leaves the ball at tower, does all that damage onto pillars and onto the overshield platform, expecting there to be another player there. As soon as he realizes there isn't, he hits the drop side, gets the overshield himself, and he's still running around, racking up kills. Just really great stuff here from Royal 2, knowing exactly what he needed to do and when.
So now he's got the repulsor, and now he's taking Jimbo down as well. Kimbo is left on his own back green. He's got 3 members of Sentinels hunting him down. Lethal just kind of watching from the balcony there, like a spectator at the theater as the action was taking place in front of him. Snaky going to be challenging as well, but you can see one by one, NaVi just running into the wall of Sen.
Sentinels also going to take the lead here. They were down by 20 early on, but once again, they will win that race. 3 dead here. Snakebite last player alive. Of course, he's got an assault rifle in hand. He's going to be an obnoxious kill. Oh my god, he almost got 2. Jimbo gets away with his life only because Mighty's was a worthy distraction.
Kimbo currently sat at 20 and 12. One of the strangest outliers I've ever seen in an oddball game, but at the moment, it is NaVi who do have the lead. Royal 2 has the sniper rifle. Good pressure from Jimbo, though, trying to move that oddball towards where the spawners are going to be coming in. Unfortunately, it's going to have to wait just a little bit too long for those spawners to come back on the map as Sentinels take care of business. The final couple of players fall. Snaky the first alive, challenging Royal 2, but Royal 2 set up with that sniper rifle, and with the ball moving, it wouldn't be surprising to maybe see a couple of multi-kill opportunities, but Royal 2 can't make it happen.
Yeah, nice shot from Snaky there to push up. Kimbo was likely dead to rights. If Snaky doesn't also push sandbags at that exact time, it's a really good timing push coming in from NaVi. That'll be 3 dead. Frosty was your last player alive momentarily.
Overshield up as well. Frosty.
Oh boy. Of course.
Eliminates one. He's got the heat wave. He picks up two. Is there any more for Frosty to take care of?
Almost.
There was.
There was.
There was.
Kimbo's hiding in the back of the house. He's like, no.
His knees are clacking together. Come on.
Gets absolutely bodied. Frosty just dealing so much damage everywhere. You got to think he was about a foot or two away from one of the nastiest triples we would see this season. But in the end, it will be taken down. 3 dead yet again. Frosty is your last player alive back-to-back.
And Frosty is running straight at NaVi as well. Finally just takes a second to slow things down. He looks like he might have been able to sneak behind enemy lines. His Mighties survives. Information though, so much of it collected by Frosty, but NaVi have managed to move into a lead here, and a great rotation from them as well. And it looks like Mighties might have just caught Frosty in the back with that sniper rifle too.
Yeah, Frosty and Mighty's playing a little bit of ring around the rosy here. They know that each of them are looking for one another right around cuts. There's Mighty's. He's finally gone to the C-plat. Frosty will win that one in the end. That's 2 dead. This should be a ball reset. It does play bottom middle, and then we'll get 3 dead in the end.
55-32. NaVi putting up a fight here. Kimbo, though, is last alive. Frosty now going to turn the attention. Having found that information out himself, I'm sure it would have been communicated thoroughly by the rest of his teammates to get the ball into their hands and maybe look to just get this game a little bit closer, or this round a little bit closer, I should say. Once again, like we saw from NaVi, moving towards back green, ready for the play ball opportunity should the kills not go their way.
Frosty ready for that play, as you say. So he does, and the ball will be played. It's, oh boy, and they even get a little bit of extra damage as well. Snakebite trying to stay alive on pillars. Can't. 3 dead. Royal 2 is your last player alive. Still 55-46. You got to think with the numbers in this game, NaVi maybe would have liked a little bit more of a lead. However, they'll take it. 1:19 left on the clock.
Let's put him into perspective at the moment. If you add Snaky and Mighty's kills together, or you add Jimbo and Snaky, any 3 members that aren't Kimbo,
yeah.
Kimbo's got more kills than them at the moment. He really is doing what he can. He doesn't have the most assists, as you can see in the column, but he's currently sat positive 10. And he really is, like you say, trying to drag NaVi through this series. Frosty takes him down, which is always a good thing to do. Snaky almost gets some of his features rearranged there by that sniper rifle, but Lethal now with the ball in hand, with a minute left on the clock, should be able to put Sentinels into a lead.
Oh my God. Great little toss rally there. That is, I mean, you cannot say enough about that. Lethal just stays alive, tosses that ball to Snakebite. Snakebite's going to rally that off the map. It's 57-55 in favor of NaVi, 48 seconds left.
They didn't get that second on the board to tie the game up and put themselves into a lead. So now NaVi, having picked up the kills, they've got the ball in their hands. They have the lead. 2 players down, or shields down, I should say, top middle. Snaky back green, and look at this now. NaVi starting to find a bit of form, starting to find a little bit of pressure, and Sentinels wilt. 4 players fall. NaVi have the ball in their hands, and they are now into a much, much more dominant lead.
Very good timing as well on the kills. All 4 players are going to spawn together in dummies here. 40 seconds left. They're going to get as much time as they can. They'll get ready for the play ball. Here comes the Sentinels push to pillars and nest.
Jimbo's going to deal with it, though. He takes down 1, he takes down 2. And they know where the last 2 players are as well. Snakebite, you're dead as well. Making an overkill! Overkill for Jimbo!
What a way to do it. He even thought about facing A there for Royal 2. Doesn't get any damage on that. 28 seconds left. NaVi now 14 seconds away from closing out the round.
It's almost as if Kimbo said, by the way, there's other people playing here as well, boys. Come and help me out. And Jimbo steps up to the plate. Mighty's in position to get the play ball as well. They only need 3 points. Sentinels still alive, though.
Very much alive here. 20 seconds left, and they could pull off a heartbreaker here. They could end this series here and now. 2 dead for NaVi.
2 dead for NaVi. Ball in the hands of Lethal.
Oh, my God.
My EU heart cannot take this. I've seen this situation far too many times. Snaky taken down by Lethal. 10 seconds left on the clock. The good thing here for NaVi is they have time on their side. They can tie up this game with a round to go, but Lethal somehow gets away.
God.
And Sentinels have an overshield as well.
Royal 2 with the overshield. They're only the last 2 alive, though. Lethal's going for a hero rotate. They need to win this. Royal 2 needs to go hero mode with the overshield.
And there's Kimbo. He gets 2. It's a triple kill coming in. Kimbo just says, I'll hold the ball. It's 99 points. Frosty gets the kill and gets the ball.
Oh, my God. This would be heartbreaking. Jimbo challenging from overshield. He gets the kill. That's a big one on C-plat.
Desperate times.
He has to go
for both teams. No. 1 second on the clock. Royal 2 goes down.
Oh my God.
And NaVi will Save me from the heart attack.
I was going to say, this is a
round three?
Round three.
Let's do round three.
My God, what a round there. One of my favorite rounds of ball I've ever watched here at an HCS event. That was ridiculous. Back and forth, and NaVi reminding us why they are here.
100%. Now they need to build off that, though, NaVi. They need to show that they deserve to be in this series and put up that fight that we all know they showed against E United. For Sentinels, questions certainly are about to be asked. And speaking of which, let's jump into listening now with Sentinels with Astro Gaming.
Small door, screens. Screens going top screens. He's on back OB now.
Elbow. Yeah, he has repulsor.
Guys, I'm
trying to shut elbow with the repulsor.
On OB, they have it. Yeah, he's grabbing it.
Shut elbow still.
I took out a lot of his West. They're just double going. Yeah, try to get a melee or something. He's just holding me. Yeah.
One at tower.
Small door, guys. What's he do? Let's go quick. Let's go quick. Small door. Out of OB, small door. There's 2 in A. 2 in A.
Pushing it
Top tower sniping.
He's elbow.
I play for that kill. Okay, Matt, you're still.
I'm just going for T-door.
Okay.
Raj running it out.
Alright, yo, take your time to get a kill. Bottom tower. One hit tower. Alright, I'm coming to tower. Let's go tower. He's somewhere up here, one hit. Guys, kill the fucking tower, please. Another mud on me.
I'm here.
Mud on me. Yeah, I'm coming mud. Can I get a beat down?
Yeah, he's on me.
Mud is dead. I'm looking mud.
Still mud?
Mud dead. Ball didn't play. Yeah, I heard you. Last guy. Nicer tower. I stayed up. One hit. Dead. Another one there, Brad. Another one cuts. Yeah, he's gonna kill me. Oh, man, I'm gonna push out here. Push out mid on me. I'm in work. On TJ. He's still talking.
Backing up. I have both weapons. And dice. Gives me dice.
As we jump out of the listening, we jump back into the game, and it's NaVi who have a lead, and Royal 2 is going to be forced to play that ball. So confidence certainly gained from how that last round ended from NaVi. Snaky versus Frosty, and it looks like Frosty will come out on top of that one.
Marty's here doing whatever he can from bottom mid. Not going to be easy when you have Snakebite and Lethal challenging you from a dummy ramp. That'll lead to 2 dead for NaVi, 26-15, just under 4 minutes left.
Overshield coming up as well. We've seen how the overshield can be influential on both sides of it. And it's going to be picked up here after the sniper rifle does not get the headshot. It's just a body shot by a Sentinels player. It's Frosty now, who's flying forward to try and deal with Jimbo. Jimbo, though, giving him the wiggles, giving him the worm, and oh my word, it's good enough to allow Kimbo to get his 33rd kill of the game.
The brothers Imbo. A duo. Look at Kimbo just still doing damage here. 3 dead. Royal 2, last player alive here. This will be more points on the board for the side of NaVi. Snaky also still alive back green. Going to look for any spawners coming in on garage door as well as going sandbags.
Well, NaVi certainly back into this game and certainly maybe just back into the series. Let's see what their comms are like as we jump into an Astro listening.
Play your life, play your life.
Alright, Nest box now.
You sniping 50.
Alright, one's Nest.
10.
C-box now, he's gone.
Yeah, I'm playing mid, Once it took it over with fucking shield.
Top mid weak, Frosty. Watch your A-plant, Absolute A-plant if you can see him, Robbie.
He's got top mid.
I can't help you, Robbie. I'm stuck in A still. They have a sniper, Frosty.
I'm gonna play out right there for you guys.
We're close up top. Top tower weak. Pulls weak. Stay out right, I can't play right.
2 C-box, guys. Oh my god.
C-box weak, snake bite. Tower was weak.
There's one coming over top mid. Step with that.
Top mid. Dirt.
He's come back to B.
Wait. Cement. One shot, let go.
Back B. Oh, sniper behind us. C-plat sniper, boys. C-plat sniper.
Okay. Because cement. Oh, I see.
One shot on ball.
Okay, Pillar's weak. Pillar's in sniping dirt. So. Nest sniping, and full. He's Nest sniping the C-box.
We'll try to go fast there.
C-box, Liam.
C-box still.
One shot.
Oh, it's free here. Oh, it's a 15. Just kill them and go around.
I'm dead. Two guys back tower.
Make sure they're dead.
Oh, it's dead.
Nice. I'm gonna go A part. So okay. You guys can angle. Yeah?
Yeah. I'm caught.
I'm on A part now.
I think.
Nothing on it.
Cut it quick, you can.
They gotta be small. Okay, now, watch out. Dead.
Let's go, weak.
I got him.
Nice read.
Should be A plus.
As we jump back in now, you can see that Sentinels managed to turn the score around, but the kill's starting to favor NaVi, and they need to turn this into full time, Andy.
They really do here. I think we've all been looking at that scoreboard for quite some time. It's felt like it's been about 56 to like 30-ish for that entirety of that listening. They got the kills on the board. They haven't converted just yet. And it felt like they were playing a little bit of cat and mouse there during that listening.
Lethal versus Snaky. Good shots from Lethal to give the opening now for Sentinels to move in and maybe think about picking up some more ball time themselves. They clear out the garage. That was the last player really of that first swarm coming in. Respawn is now trying to cause some problems. Kimbo dealt with though. White is in a great position though with the heat wave to keep Lethal off of that oddball. Finally with the damage being done and the cover being there from his teammates, it looks like Sentinels can move that ball back in towards the garage. But look at how close this is, Andy. Once again, both teams giving as good as they get.
Yeah, they really are. Lethal just on top of these rotates. Every time we get to Lethal's POV, it feels like he is rotating the ball. He's actively aware of where he needs to bring it. Even when he's holding in an area, he knows if he needs to rotate closer to green, closer to scoreboard. You can just tell he knows exactly where he needs to be. That's given them a substantial lead here, 65-46.
Royal 2 picks up the first kill in the team fight, even though Lethal was taken down to no shields. Now he's in a position to clean up some of the damage. Jimbo left on an island, left on his own, left in a lonely position as the final man standing here for NaVi. And Sentinels look like with this ball set up round at green have finally started to lock things down.
They are, as we said, sometimes takes a little bit of time to get set up, especially on a game type like Oddball, but when they do, it's very hard to break. Sentinels now crossing the 80-point mark.
And it's Sentinels who continually are getting the first pick in this team fight as well, which just means that there isn't anything to work with. There's one. Mighty's, unfortunately, for EU fans will fall as well. Jimbo gets the trade, but again, it's just Lethal watching all of this happen as his teammates are just taking everyone apart.
Yeah, Lethal's happy to watch that with the ball in hand and just kind of sit back and put more time on the board here. 86 points, 87. Has the option to play if he needs, but still just going to milk all the time. Look at this. Plays it so smart. Finally, the ball gets played, but they're at 92 points now.
No mistakes left here for NaVi. Snakey needs to clean this one up. He can't. Royal 2 and Frosty pick up the kills they require. Ball in the hands now of Sentinels, and with only Jimbo left alive, this should be the game and the series going to Sentinels. They get the last few moments. Frosty absolutely brains his teammates, and that will be it. What a way to end the series. Sentinels with the 3-0 sweep.
You're only going to get that on the Bravo stream. That is a beautiful betrayal. Back of the head, backflip, no scope. My God, is he going to put a -1 on the board? But for me, that's a +100 in my heart. That's a nice little betrayal icing on the cake. 3-0 win for Sentinels over NaVi here in Pool D, and they're going to be feeling good heading to their next match. And as we said, Sentinels now sets their sights on what does the bracket maybe look for us after our next matchup. And on the other side, NaVi is saying, do we get to bracket play, right? They have one more match left tonight against Ascend, and they need to make sure that they are getting ready for that, but they've now been on the receiving end of 6 straight losses.
Yeah, I mean, what a game that, well, 2 games we've got left in Pool D, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got Ascend versus NaVi to stay in the tournament, the 2 biggest EU teams arguably all year. I mean, Quadrant, shout out to you as well. Probably should be here as well. I do always feel like we're kind of missing you guys. Yep. But then on the other side of things, you've got Sentinels versus E United.
Enormous.
Well, I mean, we were watching the United documentary yesterday, and comes back from that heartbreaking reverse sweep, and Ranger says that was the toughest loss of my career.
Yeah.
So he wants revenge. Trust me, E United want revenge for what happened back in Orlando. We'll take a look at the series layout just to remind you, if you're just joining us, what happened. A close series at times, but you always felt like Sentinels just were in control when it mattered.
Certainly. I mean, yeah, as you said, I mean, this game was a 1-1 King Streets game. It was a 33-ish Slayer recharge, and of course also tied 1-1 here in Oddball Live Fire. And you got to think of a few things go differently. NaVi could have maybe sent this series the distance, made things a little bit more interesting. Sentinels is kind of up to their usual tricks, if you ask me, right? This is Sentinels. This is how their year has been. They're winning series with the close margins, and they're getting through the bracket as they need to. The question is, have they saved the best for last here on Friday?